round the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple Bypass Racing here on the JP Broadcasting Network. My name is Bradley Dalton. I'm going to be joined in the booth not by the NASCAR-loving Englishman. He has found himself with some prior arrangements, but I will be joined by Michael David here. So two Americans bringing you some Gen 4 on Triple Bypass on a Sunday night. This is the Darlington Throwback 125, sponsored by Matt Perusini here. And let's go ahead and jump into some of the fun stats here. 1.31 mile off-shape oval track. It looks like if you kind of squish down a sandwich to take that first bite. You know, you get a hamburger and it's a little bit too big for your mouth, so you squish the front end and take a bite. That's what I think of when I look at Darlington. It's a fun little track. Lots of action this track is going to bring. Let's kind of get this thing going here as we can. Let's go ahead and bring up the point running. Zach Roethlisberger, after 2 of 14 races here, is in the lead by 4 points ahead of Mr. Al Corey, with Cameron Kane just 1 point behind back there in third. Kyle Gresh in fourth place. John the Naj Crutchley in P5 there. Ryan Hyatt, Matt Harmon, Justin Adams in 8th, Brad Cresson 9th, and Jason Benson in 10th place. And again, 14-round seasons. We're only on the second round, so those points are real close to be just 2 weeks in here. And of course, if you are interested in jumping in with Triple Bypass, 5 nights of action. Sunday nights, it's the Gen 4s. Tuesday nights, they're on the SRXs, which is the series that I'm really excited about. I can't wait to bring that to the JP Network. Wednesday nights, it's road racing. Thursday nights is Xfinity, which is another personal, heartfelt love of mine. And then Friday nights, it's road racing yet again, which I'm going to be taking part in some, I think, maybe. I said that last season and didn't. We'll see how it goes with this season. Of course, 14-race seasons, they give out championship trophies, people. Come on now. Get a trophy. It's so cool to see all of the season winners get the trophies through, and it guarantees heartbreak racing. So if you want to join, triplebypassracing.com, or check out the link and jump in the Discord. Now, again, our race sponsor for this race today, if I can get my screens to work, is Mr. Matt Perusini. I'm trying to look to see where Matt Perusini finds himself right now. So we run through, and that's probably not the time to tune into Matt Perusini, I'm not going to lie, with the front end of that beautiful DuPont Chevrolet knocked off there. But you have those moments as it stands. Every once in a while, it happens. But, you know, it's just part of it. Now, let's talk about the big product of the day. We are going to be running through, this is a throwback livery run this week. So we'll see who has the nicest livery, who has the nicest run as qualifying gets ready to start here. And that's probably enough of me talking here, so let's go ahead and bring in my co-host here, Mr. Michael David. So, Michael, you said it's been a while. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing just great. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Pretty excited to be here, though. I live actually a couple hours away from the Darlington track in real life, so I'm super stoked to see it in the virtual world.
Yeah, Darlington it's a challenge, especially in these Gen 4 cars that are a little bit more of a handful than your modern NASCAR, your Xfinity Series, your Cup Series. These cars can be a little bit more of a handful. I know you and me talked about it pre-broadcast. Tire wear is going to be a big big sticking point. This man right here said that he went to do some roller shots for fun, just to show off the paint, and used about 3% tires on the right-hand side on a 35-mile-per-hour lap. How important is it going to be to save your tires and really make it through this 125?
Yeah, that really kind of blows my mind just to see that much tire wear just off of basically a pace lap, not even like. So the tire wear here is going to be extremely variable. And we see there's a little bit of a wall tap there. We got the hit the wall counter coming up already. But as we see our qualifying laps come in, we are starting to see these times get down into the 29 seconds, the mid to high 29 seconds. And yeah, no, this entire race is going to be nothing but managing your tires, managing that rear end. As we see everybody coming out of these corners, they get real loose. I know you were telling me there briefly that the iRacing kind of changed the design of Darlington, and people are a little more used to being able to come up a little bit higher out of the exit of turn 4. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well. So I think we're in for a barnstormer, that's for sure. And yeah, lots of degradation, that's for sure.
Yeah, tires are going to be a big problem. I'm really excited to see how everyone handles that. I'm really, really excited to see all the liveries. Now, of course, the number 84 Ward Fisher, kind of just with the generic run. Matt Perusini, our race sponsor today with this Darlington throwback and that DuPont Chevy running through. We saw the front end off of that car earlier. Let's hope that that does not happen again. We'll keep you updated with the hit the wall counter as the night goes on, because I'm expecting that counter to get pretty high. As we talked about, as Michael just talked about, we're going to jump here real quick on board with our race sponsor as we go through. As you exit out of 4, there used to not be safety barriers on the exit of 4 and the exit of 2. It used to be just straight concrete wall, and when COVID hit, iRacing went through and did a refresh package. When they did that refresh package, they had to add in the safer barriers off of 2 and off of 4. And that will catch some of these drivers off guard as it goes. So we'll keep our eyes on that. That hit the wall counter, I have a feeling, is going to get pretty high, though.
Yeah, I think it was already at 46 when we saw it just a moment ago, so it's definitely going to be up there. I just want to give my shout out here to the Winn-Dixie. When I was growing up, absolutely loved Mark Martin, so seeing that Busch Series livery just absolutely just throws me back to the mid-90s, late 90s. Just being a kid. I love it. I'm a big fan.
It's a very, very nice livery. It's really nice to kind of see some of the throwback cars here. I like the idea of this 125 throwback. I do. We're still waiting on several drivers to go out and put in laps. Matt Harmon didn't get a lap on the board for some reason, but he went through and ran 2 laps. We're waiting on Cameron Kane, Brian Cooper, Oliver Turan, and Sid Sheshian to put in their laps. So 4 drivers here to go through. 11 cars on the field. You do 11 plus 4, and it is 15 cars. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday. Don't expect me to do math. I'm not James Parfit. I do not do math very well. But we'll see here how Darlington sets up. The concrete's going to be interesting. You know, ovals, off-shape ovals. I'm going to ask this because, as we talked about, Triple Bypass has 2 nights a week of road racing. Do you think any of that road racing is going to help these guys out with that off-shape oval?
Well, it's going to be very interesting because you have the tighter turns 1 and 2, and then the longer turns 3 and 4 out of the exit there, and it's a little different than road racing because you have the banking, but the difference in the corners and the difference in the corner banking themselves is definitely going to lend itself a little bit towards that road racing. So I think there is going to be a small advantage, but it's not going to be as much of an advantage as you might think.
You know, that's a good point. It is, banking does help. Qualifying has now timed out here, so we'll wait for the official results to hit, and then we'll walk our way down the grid here as the drivers get lined up and ready to go. We'll see how things go for everyone. I think this is going to be a real exciting 125 laps from top to bottom. We'll see where things go, but let's go ahead and bring up the grid real quick and get ready to see how this goes. If my overlay wants to cooperate with me, and now it is. There we go. Zach Roethlisberger, 29.7. Kyle Gresham, P2 there. Less than just over 100th of a second back. Brad Kress in P3, Matt Perusini in 4th, Ben Harkham in 5th, Jason Benson in P6, JC John Campbell in P7, Ward Fisher in P8, Justin Adams in P9, Tex Nichols in 10th place. We'll see what Tex can do today. Patrick Swisshelm in P11, Oliver Turan in P12, Sid Kasheshian, Cameron Kang, Matt Harmon, and Brian Cooper with no time. So 16 cars here on the grid ready to go. We'll see how they can put things together. I'm curious to see. I got to look at something real quick before we start rolling off pace laps. JC John Campbell, are you still running a Krispy Kreme livery?
Yes, he is. And also, he's an Aussie. It's kind of interesting to see an Aussie in the field. A little bit like Shane Van Gisbergen out there.
And he is pretty quick. I will give him that. He is pretty quick, so keep your eyes on him, because he is going to be one to keep up with as we go through these pace laps at the moment. Coming down through turn 1, then they'll come around turns 1 and 2. It's just going to be a 1 round through, and then 125 laps to kick off. Michael, I'm going to ask you, because you're newer to the triple bypass scene. I know you said you've done some races in the past, but it's been a while for you. Go ahead and call your winner right now. Who is your winner?
I'm going to go with Roethlisberger. He's one of the names that I recognize. I can't remember if I've done a triple bypass or I've just recognized a couple of the numbers, but I do know for sure that Zach Roethlisberger is a very quick driver. And with this 125, with the tire degradation, I'm going to go with my gut, sticking with the 33.
I think the gut's a good option. I think that you also have the possibility of Kyle Gresh coming through. I think our race sponsor, Matt Perusini, can come through, but in 125 laps, we are going to have the answer. 16 cars lined up here in Gen 4s here on Triple Bypass Racing on the JP Broadcasting Network. Barney has the flag, and it is green, 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 and we are going to be underway for 125 laps, and that is Zach Roethlisberger getting a little slippery off of the race start there as we get going. It is going to be Kyle Gresh to the outside, Sexy Wall Trip as they call him, trying to run his way around the outside with Kress in 3rd place. Let's see how many times I mix their names up as we go through, but it is going to be Roethlisberger who can hold the line early on, and it is a caution right away, as I don't think we even got off the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll probably get a replay here in a moment, but I'm not sure what happened. Something further back in the field. Looks like Nichols has fallen all the way back to 16th. So I'm not sure if he was involved there.
Looks like it is the
looks
double
like he got,
02 here.
He got tagged from the back. Did he slow down a little bit? And that's why he got tagged? I'm not sure exactly what happened, but 3 or 4 cars caught up in that. Yeah, it looks like he slowed up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get another angle of this real quick, too, because it is the 002. It's the number 60. Oh, man. That is a rough one to see. But that makes things interesting early on as we get going. So you can see it's the 60 slow off the start, and the 002 here of Oliver Turan is trying to miss him and then goes in with the Hawaiian punch car of Patrick Swisshelm, comes down, and they collect each other and just up in the wall and out. And thankfully they have a
car
faster
just getting
pair.
through here. Yeah.
Not away.
They only have one, though. Is that correct?
Yeah,
just
it's
the one.
1 and 3 sets of tires is all you get. So, and nobody opting to pit in except for the broken down car of Tex Nichols there, the Winn-Dixie car. He'll take his fast repair. He'll take his time in the pits and come back out. But lap 3 of 125, and we see that these Gen 4 cars are not very nice.
No, it's definitely going to be a real challenge here tonight, that's for sure. Between the degradation and just coming off these corners, you're going to lose the rear end quite easily. With only 3 sets of tires, you really got to manage. You can't just push all out right up the front, and it's going to be tough for all these drivers throughout the field.
Yeah, it is early on here, and I don't usually get to do interviews early on here, but let's see if we can't talk to our race sponsor, Matt Perusini. Let's see if we can find where he's hiding here in the Discord chat. Matt Perusini, let's see if we can bring him up real quick. Hey, Matt, it is going to be Brad and Michael in the booth. No James today. How are you doing there?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
We are good. First off, thanks for sponsoring the race. Second off, you didn't even make it off the line. How's the race jitters going for you?
Well, we're spinning tires on the restart in second. When we shift to third, it's still spinning tires. And then when we go to fourth, it still chirps them. So it's very interesting and very slick.
What can you do to change that here around this track?
Well, you're gonna be like you're on eggshells. There was a mistake setting the session up, so we are short a set of tires. So we only have 2 sets in the pits for 125 laps. This is going to be very interesting.
Oh, well.
Brutal.
yeah, brutal. Matt, I'm going to throw you back down because you're about to go green. Good luck, sir, and I'll probably talk to you again in a bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right,
2 sets for 125 laps. That's insane.
That is something.
Oh.
That is something. I'll leave it at that.
You have to just absolutely baby the throttle coming out of the turns, especially if you're spinning through second and third gears. That's kind of like, I'll go ahead and shut my mouth and let you take us through the restart here.
They're spinning in second, they're spinning in third, and they're chirping in fourth. It's going to be one long where there's Kyle Gresh breaking the traction on the restart, and that is going to be Zach Roethlisberger getting away very, very well. Kyle Gresh and Brad Press are going to run each other off the line here early on. We'll see who comes up where. And you see these guys, it now explains they're being a little timid. They're running the high line. Let's check back here because Sid Kashechian. Sorry, no. This is Justin Adams getting away very slow off that race restart. You can see he is going very slow. I didn't see exactly what caused that. I'll see if I can get a replay of it here in just a moment. Patrick Swisshelm is a bit further back there going through. Tex Nichols is up, but he is, of course, going to be a lap down. But up in the front as we go, it is going to be Kyle Gresh, who is going to be half a second, 0.6 back from Roethlisberger there. And just, I mean, at this point, they're just going to be tire saving all day.
Yeah, there's absolutely no choice but to tire save. You only have 2 sets of tires to get you all the way through. So, I mean, even if you chop that in half, that's about 62, 63 laps. That's just insane, especially when we know for a fact that the tire degradation here is very, very high. I think you were saying, was it Perusini who was doing the laps where he already, like, he did 1 lap at pace car speed, less 35 miles an hour, whatever it was, and he was already tearing into those tires, 3% damage. How are you going to be able to race at full strength and still keep your tires? That's who's going to win. Whoever wins this race is just going to be a throttle master. That's for sure.
Yeah, whoever wins this, when I interview them at the end, and you know, we ask the big question of how was the race for you? I have a feeling that's going to be very stressful as the response. But as we go, I mean, you can tell the guys are conserving very, very hard. Look at these lap times here as we go through. Looking at last lap times, 30-second laps.
Yeah, we saw these guys down in the 29 and a half about during practice. So that is half a second, 0.6 off of their fastest laps in practice. So yeah, these guys are definitely not able to push as much as they want to. No, Perusini, he was using the analogy that it was like walking on eggshells, but it's kind of like putting an egg underneath your throttle pedal, and you just kind of got to be very gentle not to squish that egg, because that's just going to ruin your race.
Yeah, I kind of feel for these guys a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because this is one of those that I would be very, very stressed out if I was a driver right now, realizing I'm short a set of tires for 125 laps, and knowing that a spin on lap 1 is what started the caution process. Because, you know, if we ride on board here with Matt Perusini, and we jump on board with him, let's check out just how things are going for him, see if we can't get the cockpit view, actually, if I can select the right button. Now watch how ginger he is being with this as we go. I mean, he is very much just nice and relaxed and going through. You can see on the right side, 176 miles an hour goes to. And try to hear tire scrub, that's what he's trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid as much tire scrub as possible as we go through and just continue. I mean, he is babying this car as much as he humanly can.
Yeah, just listening to the throttle control here, it's got to be stressful, like you said. These guys got to be sweating bullets. One simple mistake, one loss of concentration, you're going to be in the wall, and that's basically going to be your race. I know you said they got a fast repair, but that puts you at the back of the field, just like Nichols, who appears to be on the lead lap. Did he get his lap back?
He did get his lap back, it looks like. So not sure how he did that. We missed that, but he did get his lap back. So that will be very good for him. and will possibly make his life a little bit easier as things go. So we'll keep our eyes on where Mr. Tex there finds his way as the race continues on. We are lap 13 of 125, and it is a case of second verse, same as the first. Top 7, all the same drivers as they were at the start. It's Roethlisberger, Gresh, Kress, Perusini, Harcum, Benson, and JC John Campbell. From there, that's where you get the big movers. You got Cameron Kane there in the 037. It's just a simple little picture. Just a happy little accident. He's up 6 places on the day. Sid Kasheshian back behind is up 4 places. Matt Harmon's up 5. And Mr. Brian Cooper is up 5 places. Oliver Tehran is in P12 where he started. And then Justin Adams, Patrick Swisshelm, Ward Fisher, and Tex Nichols all involved in that lap 1 incident. And they are down a few places.
Yeah, it's all unfortunate for those guys, but you got your 8th through 11th place taking advantage. That's what you got to do. You got to try to just conserve as much tires as you can and just ride the waves. Hope that you can stay out of trouble. Hope that if an accident happens in front of you, you're able to find a safe lane through and just keep your head down. But concentration and just constantly thinking about your tire degradation. That's what's going to persevere here tonight.
Yeah, Kyle Gresh finding the wall again there on the exit of 4 when he went through, and now as he comes around into 3 again. That's how quick these laps are moving. These guys are, 30-second laps, and we say they're slower than they had been through practice and qualifying, but 30-second laps are not laps to kind of scoff at. Now you got Brad Kress there under pressure by Matt Perusini as he goes through, and we'll see how Matt Perusini can snake by, goes through, slides back up in the lane, and he is up into P3, one of the podium places there with the number 9 of Kress just behind.
Perusini sliding all over the place there. It looks cool, and he got the pass done, but you got to be very careful with those rear tires. That could have ended up extremely dangerous there for him and for the 9 car right behind him with Kress, but he got the job done. You just got to be careful. I'm nervous because it looks like these guys are on ice already, and we haven't even been able to get through a majority of the first stint yet.
Yeah, I think he got just a little bit aggravated sitting behind Kress. I think he felt he was faster, and as you can see, the car behind Kress, Ben Harcum, into the wall again. We'll see as they go through. They're still working their way around traffic as well. So we're starting to get lap cars. That's the 714 of Swisshelm that is snaking his way back. Behind them, Ben Harcum hit the wall. So we'll double check on our wall counter at the moment, and let's see where our wall counter sits underneath the timing board. 421.
421. That's quite the number, and we're only 18 laps into this race, so that's going to be... Oh, we see another car getting into the wall there. Is he going to stay out of everybody else's way? It looks like we're good, but... Yeah, you start tapping that wall. I know I was asking you about the toe links, so we'll have to see just how strong those toe links are going to be tonight, because it appears that everybody has hit the wall at least once.
Yeah, I think the wall and the cars can take a little bit of abuse, but I will tell you that the car will have the problem before the wall has the problem. And here we go. They're coming up on lap traffic again. That is going to be Oliver Tehran there in the 002 that they're trying to work their way around at this point. And we will see how they handle him. He's going to slide up to the high line. You can see a little bit of damage on the front nose of that 002 as they go by. But now they sneak their way up high, and they are there. They are happy. They are nice and satisfied with the place they find themselves. And now we just keep it going yet again as things go through. Benson and Campbell swapping places as Ben Harcum has dropped off the wall, as I can see it. He's in the pits. So we'll see, is that due to damage? That car is skewed quite a bit off to the side, and behind him, there's another car coming into the pits. So look at that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's definitely been in the wall quite hard, it looks like. The car right behind him was the lap traffic that we just saw hit the wall. We see a couple cars coming through now.
There's Swisshelm. I think it's Adams. Yeah, it was Adams going through. And you can see, look at the difference in the right-hand side there between Ben Harcum and Justin Adams. Justin Adams there, center of your screen. Ben Harcum, the bottom of your screen there. Look at the difference on that right-hand tire as they go through. So, yeah, you can tell that it's a significant difference and significant problems that it makes the more and more you tap that wall.
We got Sexy Waltrip under a ton of pressure here by our race sponsor, Perusini. There is definitely going to be some fireworks here very shortly as you see a little bit of slide there from the 27. A little bit coming off of the turn there too, so this is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, the 27, I know Kyle is good at saving his tires. His first name's Kyle, and if you know anything about real-life modern NASCAR, the Kyles are typically pretty fast and pretty good at saving tires. So he does pretty well with it, but even at this track, at Darlington, it's a tall ask to sit there and save your tires and really, really make it work. So we'll see how he does. You're starting to see him take a slightly different line through 1 and 2 and try to cut things through. Perusini is going to try to get the jump here. And as they go into 3, it is going to be Perusini ahead. So there we go. Mr. Matt Perusini, our sponsor, finds his way up into P2 here. Lap 23 of 125.
Yeah, that was a great move there by Perusini. We saw him get by Kress earlier, and it was a lot more Tokyo drift style. That was a very clean move. He had it done before he ever got into the turn and got it done down the straight. So couldn't have been any cleaner for him, and that's probably going to be... Oh, we see Kress going by Gresh now. Same spot, bound the back straight. So it looks like Gresh is having a little bit of an issue coming off of these corners. He's losing some of that straight line speed at the end of the straight because of it. Lost 2 spots in the last 2 or 3 laps there.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Kyle Gresh isn't in a little bit of conservation mode of just trying to hold on. Looking at lap times here, Kyle Gresh 31.67, 31.17, Matt Perusini on the last lap. So I think a little bit of tire conservation is starting to come into play as I think Kyle Gresh has kind of realized, oh no, I've got to make another 100 laps. That's going to be a tall ask, but we'll make it work, and we'll see what we can do here as he runs through, and they are just continuing pretty much at pace. These 3 are just very, very close. I'm going to jump a little bit further back here to Matt Harmon and that number 28 Alvaline and see how he's doing comparative.
He's got a little bit of front right damage there, so he's been into the wall at some point. But it looks like he's doing okay. His pace is not too bad.
Yeah,
the 28 there, 31.6 on that last lap, so he's lapping the same as Kyle Gresh. So his pace is not that far off the leaders. He might also be doing a little bit of conserving here.
I would be very surprised if drivers weren't conserving a little bit. And you can see he's not too far off the car ahead. But yeah, look at that. Look at that right front damage as he goes through. And then we could compare that to like Matt Perusini as Matt Perusini comes down. Look at the right front of him. I mean, it's not that bad looking either, though. So
no, it looks like he's been doing okay. I think we're really going to start seeing these back ends wiggle out, though, and that's when we're going to start seeing more and more contact with the wall. I'm interested to see when these leaders decide that they want to stretch this stint out to. I mean, obviously they can't come in yet, but it's got to be on their minds with only 2 sets of tires. Man, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really rough for them. And the one thing I want to point out is look at how spread out the field is. We're lapped all the way through P10 now as it sits. So the field is really spread out. They could use a caution just to bring things back together. That's just the nature of the beast a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but it is like, it's amazing to me to see just all the different strategy come through. I know it's going to bring fireworks at the end, but as we sit lap 30 and 125, these guys are really trying to just run their own pace.
Yeah, and out front, Zach Roethlisberger just running his own race. He is, that last time around, he was a 31.3. I saw him in the 30s just not too long ago, so he's still running a pretty decent race pace there. So I'm not sure if he's conserving that much at the moment, but he's out just kind of running his own thing right now. Perusini and Kress are fighting for second and third, so that's just giving him a little bit more and more. As we see, the 037's got quite a bit of damage on the right side of that car.
Yeah, Cameron Kane does not look like he's had a good time there as he comes through. I want to try to get a real good view. Look how bad that right-hand side is.
Is that Bob Ross on there?
That is Bob Ross. It's a happy little accident. The happy little accident. That
I did not catch that earlier. I apologize.
It's, yeah. We'll see. Does he take a fast repair here becomes the question. And it is going to be, yep. You see the nose jump right back out. So he is right back in and through. Let's jump back up with the leaders here as they go. Matt Perusini running through, and I'm trying to keep an eye on where our race leader is. Our race leader just got past P9 of Mr. Brian Cooper, and then Brian Cooper was his last bit of traffic for a bit. You can see he's got a big old gap coming up to P8 Matt Harmon, who is currently battling it out with the 714 of Swiss Helm and trying to get past that lap traffic. Look at the right side of Matt Harmon.
Yeah, we just saw him moments ago, and it didn't look that bad, so he must have had an incident that we missed.
Yeah, it's I'm not catching anything on my side. Nobody's really registering that they're getting into any big hits, but you can tell it's happening. And while that's going through, you know, kind of recapping where it's at, let's see if we could check out where our hit the wall counter is at.
Doubled since the last time we checked.
That's a rough one. We'll let that keep running in the background as the race goes on, and we'll probably see that continue to jump up little by little and more by more. But as we go through lap 34 of 125, and Michael, it's been clean racing all the way through. It's kind of, this is characteristic triple bypass. You might have one incident, maybe two incidents. If it's a super speedway, you're always going to have a big one. But other than that, you tend to see these guys just really settle into a rhythm.
Yeah, it looks like they're very clean. Everybody's giving each other space. I got James in the back of my head just screaming in exhilaration for every time that lap traffic gets out of the way. He hates blue flags. Yeah, it's been a very, very safe race so far. We saw that caution right off the front of the race, right off the start of the race, I should say. I'm not sure if maybe it was just bad luck, bad start, what happened there, but ever since then we haven't really had any issues. Now, we know all these cars have been tapping the wall. That is definitely going to start adding up over time. These light taps will start catching up. Luckily, so far, the leaders, the guys on the lead lap, and then even a couple of the other drivers that are 1 or 2 laps down have still got their fast repair, but it's definitely going to be a challenge to keep this car out of the wall, because that attrition is just going to keep adding up and adding up and adding up, and that's going to become more and more of an issue later in the race.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is it's the high line that everyone's using. I don't see a single car wanting to look at the low line. Everyone wants to make that high line work as it sits. And it's working, but you wouldn't think it would be the preferred line here, but it truly is, and it's running through. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, though, right now and know where some of these guys' tires deg is.
Yeah, that'd be really, really interesting just to see what kind of handling they're dealing with. But yeah, you're right, they are really just using that high line, and maybe it's just a little bit easier on the tires. They can just kind of coast a little bit more instead of having to put any more. Ooh, we see Perusini get into the wall there, but not too bad. But maybe they're just using that higher line to kind of protect the tires a little bit. I'm not sure if maybe they can just ease off the throttle and just coast and save a little bit of speed that way. But it just seems to be the preferred line, like you said.
Yeah, carry the momentum and go through. I think the big thing is you really have to watch that wall on exit, because you can see, even if we go back to Kyle Gretsch and you watch his exit off of 2 and his exit again off of 4, you can see the guys just sliding these cars around very, very quick. Watch this. We'll jump on the 4 exit here and watch the back end of this car as it goes through. You can see he slides it up and then has to just catch it through as it goes. He's doing a good job of it, though, as he comes through and around. It's fun watching these guys run, but man, is it sometimes a little bit scary.
Yeah, we see Kress is now starting to pull a little bit away from Perusini. Not that much, but the last 2 laps... Well, no, I take that back. Last lap, Perusini 31.374. Brad Kress at a 31.685. So Perusini did improve on that last lap, but we missed the pass. Not sure what happened when they got by, but Kress and Perusini definitely going tooth and nail at each other tonight. This has been a great battle to watch.
It's been a very, very good battle to watch, and I'll see here if I can find a quick replay of that pass. And here we go. So this was down the main straight, and it was just up the inside goes Brad Kress on Matt Perusini for a very, very clean run there. Gets his way up into P2. I think he scared Perusini a little bit. He slid up, and then he comes back down, and he just kind of goes, okay, you know what? It's fine. I've got it here in place. So And that is what was there. So we don't typically show replays of passes like that here, but, you know, when you miss a big pass like that, you really need to. And then J.C. John Campbell, look at this battle going through. J.C. Benson, J.C. John Campbell, and then that's the number 19 of Sid Keshechian. We went from no battles to a big three-way battle here in the middle.
Everybody's kind of tightening it up. This is definitely going to be interesting here as we see Keshechian right on the back of the 42 here of Benson. Not too far ahead is J.C. Campbell. Keshechian looked like he wanted to put a nose down. He's using a little bit more of that bottom line as we see the 96 come through. The 96, I believe, is on fresher rubber, so that's probably why he's got more grip than these lead cars that have not been in the pit yet. I do want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube chat. We got Mike in the chat saying, yay, go Maddie. Jeff Slaughter giving a shout out to Perusini and his paint scheme, but apparently he's the one that's painted it. So, hey, Jeff Slaughter, that is a beautiful paint scheme, man. It looks great. And he's also shouting out Perusini for president. So I'm not sure about that, but hey.
Listen, we've seen no Perusini pirouettes yet today, so that's the big key. No Perusini pirouettes, so we got to feel pretty good about it. As Perusini gets past Kress up here in for P2 as Kress is into the pits. So leaders have decided that lap 44 is where they're going to call it for one of their two sets of tires and go through.
Okay, seems pretty logical. This is a nice little, you know, you did 44 laps on that first stint. That's pretty solid. You only had the one caution. We had 3 laps, 4 laps under caution, so you didn't really conserve too much on your rubber there. And I do want to give a shout out here to Amanda Hargrove saying, "Let's go Adam," or "Let's go Adams." And also, apparently, I missed the pirouette call out there, the Jeff Slaughter pun there. So when you said he hasn't pirouetted yet, I kind of clicked. So Jeff Slaughter with the pun got over my head.
What? Jeff Slaughter, why are you not racing? And also, if that's Mike as in Mike Weedo, why are you not racing? Where are you both at?
Yeah, well, Mike, it just says Mike, so I'm not sure, but that is Jeff Slaughter for sure. And yeah, we see another one of the leaders coming through. Roethlisberger is in the pits. Benson's staying out. Gresh is already out. Perusini is coming in now. Harmon coming into the pits as well. This is going to be very interesting to see where these guys all feed out into, because now you're starting to see the entire field is a lap down, but that will obviously work its way back out because Zach Roethlisberger are, for all intents and purposes, at the moment, our race leader, even though we see Gretsch out there. Kyle Gretsch just hasn't been into the pits yet.
Yeah, and Kyle Gretsch is going to be your de facto leader for the moment, but in reality, the first person back, as we see, Matt Perusini still hasn't started moving. He's still in. Zach Roethlisberger is the first car that has pit, and you can see he's past Perusini with not a lot of issues at all. Matt Perusini comes out just now. 5th place. Running through is a lap down.
We got a couple answers there in the chat. Jeff Slaughter says, "This is Gen 4 in Darlington. Do I need to say more?" Fair enough. We've seen quite a bit. And then imagine only having 2 sets of tires instead of 3. Mike also says he wanted to race, but he just got power back into his area. So, Mike, hopefully storms weren't too bad for you. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Or later this week. I'm not sure if he runs any other leagues. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the triple bypass, so...
Yeah, I think we'll see Mike later in the week.
Okay.
It is good that he's got power back and that things are running, so I'm very, very happy with that. Would have loved to have seen him on track, though. And then, don't be scared of Gen 4s at Darlington. Come on now, Jeff. If I'm not scared of Gen 4s at Darlington, you can't be scared of Gen 4s at Darlington. Then again, I'm the one commentating, not driving, so... Okay.
It's a lot easier to say that from the booth, that's for sure.
It really is. Let's jump back here. Cameron Kane is trying to chase down Mr. Brian Cooper. Gap almost a second, and I mean, the gaps have opened up. Gresh and Benson still have not pit. Those two and Oliver Turan are the only 3 drivers that have not pit. Of course, Turan is a lap down already, just on pace alone. Gresh and Benson are running through, but Benson is almost going to be a lap down here, I believe. Not too far off. So interesting to see that most of the field has been lapped, and now they're going through on pace alone. past Kyle Gresh. So Kyle Gresh has gotten passed there by Roethlisberger. So Roethlisberger, I would say, is your de facto leader here. We hit lap 50 at 125. There's the 78 back behind. That's Ben Harkham, who is going to get another one of his laps back. He's now 6 laps down, which is kind of painful to see. And the number 9 of Cress goes through. Cress is now back on the lead lap there into 4th place.
Yeah, this stint by Gresh is very impressive to see him stretching it out, but he's going to have to come in soon. Everybody else on fresh rubber is just making him look like a sitting duck. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works for him long term, though. He's going to have some very fresh rubber towards the end of the race comparative to everybody else. Right now, he's gone 6-7 laps longer than Perusini. I think Cress came in the lap before Perusini did. Roethlisberger obviously came in a couple laps before that. So there towards the end of the race, Gresh should be sitting very pretty with some very fresh rubber comparative to everybody else.
Yeah, and that's Roethlisberger with an on-track pass on Benson. Now Cress is passed as well. Benson is going to call it and say, nope, I'm done. That's enough. Into the pits I go. And now it is only Kyle Gresh who has not pit yet. And when you look at it, considering that we started seeing pit stops as early as lap 35 from Brian Cooper, that is a long stint to decide to stay out there. And I'm curious to see how much longer he wants to nurse this beautiful Jimmy Johnson-esque sexy Waltrip livery. I can't imagine it's going to be too much longer.
Yeah, but I mean, he seems like he knows exactly what his plan is. He seems very comfortable. He's not too far. Like, everybody is passing him, but when we were in our race pace, we were seeing everybody running in the with the 31.2s, the 31.4s, the 31.6s. His last lap was a 32.28, so basically a 32.3. So about 0.6 off that pace for a regular race pace. But that being said, that's not too terribly far off. I'm not surprised to see him eking this out, because this is going to come to his favor towards the end of the race.
I can only think that is what he's looking for, is that he's looking to milk this as long as he can to try to save a set of tires for a late caution or for something. Big key is going to be, don't cause the late race caution yourself, but we'll see what his game plan is as we go. We're at 55 of 125 now, so we're I don't know. I probably would have pit with the field, but that's just me. Kyle Gresh, again, a very smart driver, though, probably knows something strategy-wise that I don't.
Can we ride on board with him for a lap? I just want to hear... Oh, it looks like he's coming in, actually. I take it back. I was going to say, I wanted to hear his throttle control just to see what he was doing, but as I was saying that, here he comes into the pits.
Yeah, he's milked that out for 16 laps longer than pretty much the rest of the field. So pretty impressive to see. We started seeing green flag stops around lap 40. A couple people pitted around lap 35, but really the bulk of the field between 40 and 45. And now he's into the pits on lap 56. And now we'll watch as Zach Roethlisberger comes into 3, and we'll see what sort of a gap Roethlisberger has on Gresh as he goes through. I think Gresh will still be on the lead lap. The question will be by how much as he comes through Roethlisberger with a 2.6 second gap. Is that correct? Yeah, 2.6 second gap on Brad Kress.
Now, Brad Kress has cut that gap quite a bit. I believe when he was still racing with Perusini, that Kress and Perusini were about 3.5 seconds back from Roethlisberger. So in between that pit situation there, either Roethlisberger has lost a little bit of pace, or Kress has actually gained a little bit of time on the race leader. So interesting to see how this is going to feed into this second stint here. But Keshishian up into 4th place here. Gresh is a lap down. So it looks like it's not really working in his favor at the moment.
Yeah, and Kyle Gresh is just now feeding back into the field. So we've got 3 drivers on the lead lap, and starting with Sid Keshishian all the way back are at least 1 lap down. So this has been an interesting run, but I do want to jump back here. Brian Cooper right here is trying to chase down Cameron Kane just ahead in that 037, and he's got a little bit of company there in the number 33. The number 33, of course, being our wonderful leader of Roethlisberger. He's now put Roethlisberger has now put the number 96 of Cooper another lap down, but he is still just right there on Cameron Kane, not too far off, as Cameron Kane will be the next person to go down a lap.
Sid Kasheshian coming through there too, right on the tails there of our leader Roethlisberger. He is a lap down, but still putting in some great times, and looks like he is really on the rear end here of the 037 of Cameron Kane there. It's going to be interesting to see. This is not a battle for position, but these two cars, oh, they both got a little high there. These two cars look like, they looked like they were about even when it came to tire wear. So this is an interesting part of the race where the field kind of comes back together almost in certain situations. Kasheshian back into the wall again.
Yeah, now the 037 there of Kane and the 96 of Cooper, those are battles for position. And there is Kyle Gresh coming through, going around the inside of Gresh and Cress. Try to say that 5 times fast as these two go around and through. And you can see Kyle Sexy Waltrip gets a little loose as it goes. But then you do have the number 9 there of Cress, who's in the mix as well. This is a lead lap car, a lap down car, and a 2-lap down car that are all in the mix. Even though this isn't a battle for position, look at that tracker on the top right-hand corner. Look at how packed all of these drivers are right there. And there's the that's a moment. Who was that? That was the 714 at Swift Helm, trying to go very, very low. And Kyle Gresh said, I'm going to follow you all the way down to the apron.
Yeah. I think Swisshelm was just trying to get out of the way, and Kyle Gresh was just trying to pick up a toe there, and things got very dicey there for a moment.
Yeah, and I think that's Kyle Gresh understands kind of his position of where he's at right now. He's got Sid Kasheshian right in front of him there. This will be the battle for P4, so I think it was just a case if he wanted to get a little bit of a run on Sid here, and as he does, he's up the high side. Kasheshian going low and just kind of cedes the position. Not a big, drawn-out battle. You don't see that a lot with these guys. They tend to be very, very respectful with their racing. And now we settle in, and Kyle Gresh, you have got a haul on your hands. The leader is just now going through 2, as Kyle Gresh is just now coming through 1. So he's not too far off of the leader, but he does need to get to the leader and then go all the way around.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Gresh going on the outside there against Kasheshian. There's a lap difference of 15 laps between the 2 tires there, so Gresh is definitely going to have way more confidence to make that outside run. It looks like he really is starting to track down the leader, but not for position yet. He's just trying to get his lap back, and then we'll see what happens later. But right now, Kyle Gresh is definitely the fastest car on the track right now. That last lap was a 30.4. And Zach Roethlisberger running a 30.8 on his last lap. So Kyle Gresh definitely putting in some time, but we got to wonder if he waited too long for that pit stop.
I'm going to tell you that he did. I am going to genuinely tell you that he waited too long, because I feel like he would be in a lot better of a position right now if he had just pit with the rest of the field. I'm saying that, and then again, here in a little bit, we may find out that it pays off for him, but as it sits right now, he is just in a bad place. Now, if there is a caution, of course, he'll be the first one to get Lucky Dog back, so we'll just keep our eyes on that as it stands and continues around, because it will be, I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
You know, we're about halfway through this race, and we haven't had any cautions other than the first lap, so it's been very clean so far. I still stick to my guns. He's going to have more options at the end of the race. He's going to have more rubber at the end of the race. He's going to be a little bit faster. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he nailed the strategy. He might have waited just a little bit too long there for that first pit.
Yeah, which, I mean, it happens, but, you know, you live and you learn. And again, long term, we'll see how he learns. I'm still looking at the right side of these cars. I'm still kind of seeing the little bit of scrapes and bangs. And, you know, especially if you look right here at the 002 of Oliver Turan. Look at the right-hand side. We'll see if we can get a better camera angle of that right-hand side as he taps the wall again, and the wall just reaches out, hugs him, and says, hey, just come here for a minute. Look at how that right tire is sticking out there. Look at it's rough. It is very, very rough.
Yeah, and it looks like he's crabbing just a little bit. Take a look at the 84 there. It's got quite a bit of damage there, too. We see Cress. Cress looks like he's doing all right. There is a tiny bit of damage there, but nothing that should be worrying him too much. He's holding that high line very well. See how he comes off the exit here.
He's leaving plenty of room in that wall, but meanwhile, the car behind him is not. And who was that behind him? Was that Sid? That was
Sid Session, yeah.
And not leaving room.
He not leaving room, and that rear end really wants to step out on him, so we might start to see tire degradation already on this second stint here. It looks like he's letting the race, or I guess third place there, Perusini through. Not sure if that, well, he is a lap down, so maybe he was just letting him through because he's a lap down, but that seemed like it was almost not necessarily orchestrated, but quite clean.
Yeah, it was very clean, and I think that's just a case of Sid saying, you know what, I'm not racing you, just get away from me at the moment as it goes. He's trying to hold on to his own race. Sid tires are 30 laps old. He pitted on lap 41. We now cross the line for lap 71, so plenty of space there. Checking back in with our race leader here, Zach Roethlisberger. You see behind him is Kyle Gretsch, Sexy Wall Trip, who is trying to make a run through and has made the run through and now needs to get past. Oh, stay up high there, 93. Adams bumps the wall again. We'll check our wall counter in just a moment. And Adams has reminded me that it's still running in the background. But Sexy Wall Trip has found his lap back.
Yes, he has, and Roethlisberger, I think, found a little bit of the wall going through there, too. So that was definitely a tense moment for our race leader, and a good moment here for our current fourth-place man getting his lap back, Kyle Gretsch.
Yeah, now the issue becomes that Kyle Gretsch needs to run the entire track width around to try to challenge for a win. He's 30 seconds back from Roethlisberger, which is a full lap, and you see Roethlisberger is struggling for handling right now. I mean, just struggling. He is struggling like I struggle to put my pants on after Thanksgiving dinner and button my pants back up because it is a bit ridiculous how slippery this track is. It looks like someone put Dawn dish soap all over it. And those are for James Parfit, who is not here. I have said now all of my fun little quotes for the day, and we check in with Sid Kasheshian, who goes halfway down the backstretch trying to catch that car off the exit of 2.
Yeah, that was quite a big moment there for Kasheshian, but able to catch it. There was nobody around him, so luckily he had the entire track, and he comes back up into the wall there, so he's having a heck of a time there, now on, what, 33, 34 lap old tires? So we're seeing this degradation hitting everybody for this second time in this second stint.
Yeah, wall counter up to 1,234 wall taps as it stands, and now it's 1,235. So more and more drivers hitting the wall, and you can see the right-hand side of Sid Kasheshian's car says it all as we go through. Let's check in Ward Fisher here. Ward Fisher is going to have Brad Kress on his heels there. Brad Kress, of course, the driver in P2 at the moment. He's got the number 93 ahead. That is Adams. Adams 6 laps down, and he slides over. He lets him through. He lets that number 9 through. I think that's a good move from him.
Now, if we see anything like we did with the first stint, we are starting to come back into that pit window with 49 laps left to go in this race. We saw everybody coming in on lap 44, 43, 45, but we also saw Kyle Gretsch stretch it out to 56 laps. So technically, with 49, 48 laps to go now, we are technically starting to get into that pit window, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes in first and who tries to stretch this stint out longer. I think Kyle Gretsch is kind of looking a little bit better at this moment. He's already gained 2.5 seconds back on Roethlisberger just since he made his lap back, so that might actually work in his favor.
Yeah, I think it may work very well in his favor here as things go. And Perusini taps the wall twice there, so that's 2 taps to the counter. So we'll keep our eyes on where the counter is at. We won't check it again until the end of the race. We'll save that one for near the end of the race, because I have a feeling that as the tires die out, that wall counter is going to get a lot of work here. Look at the
Duran and Nichols
slide.
both in the pits. Yeah, his rear end is just all over the place. Now, Perusini, I know we saw him have a moment, but he seems like he's very glued. He's able to get up high there at the corner exit. We take a look at Cameron Kane coming down pit lane.
Yeah, different people look glued in different amounts, and I think it's interesting to see that Cameron Kane has now decided to pit at this point. I have a feeling that some of the leaders may start to follow suit here as we go through. Perusini to Brad Crest, not that much of a gap as it sits, and let's see if we can't keep the cameras on them for a little bit as it goes through. And again, you see like the middle of the corner, he cuts in again and then slides back up on the exit. It's a very, very unique approach to turn 1 and 2, and it's not one that we really see at any other NASCAR track that I can think of.
Yeah, how many of these guys in the top three, really, Perusini, Crest, and Roethlisberger, are looking at that first stint by Gretsch and saying, you know what, I'm losing grip right now, but I can just eke this out just a little bit longer, and I'm going to have just that much rubber towards the end of the race. I'm going to be that much quicker towards the final stint of the race. So I'm not sure. I think these guys are going to stick it out just a little bit longer. I mean, coming down, it's going to be tough, but I think seeing what we saw from Gretsch, these guys are going to try to eke it out a little bit longer than they originally planned.
Well, you know, the question in my head becomes, what if Kyle Gretsch just doesn't pit again? What if he just stays out to the end? And then, you know, where do you land there for Kyle Gretsch? I have a feeling that might be what he's deciding to do, is to try to run it to the end. Because he's 26 seconds back on Perusini. He's still gaining time on Perusini as it goes. So what if his decision becomes to just stay out, as we get on screen there? Jason Benson getting past the Aussie of JC John Campbell and going through. And John Campbell, you always make me want Krispy Kreme. Every time I commentate Triple Bypass, the next day I have to go get Krispy Kreme. I appreciate you for that, but I don't appreciate you for that. My wallet hurts.
So we saw Gretsch put on 56 laps on his first set of tires. We saw how much the degradation was affecting him towards the end of that. He was still putting in 32 threes, but everybody was just passing him left and right like he was just, you know, a walking chicane. I think it'd be about 69 laps, somewhere in there. My math kind of isn't that great. I have to take my shoes off just to count to 20. But somewhere in that range, 69, 70 laps there, I think that's asking a little too much. We know what the degradation is here. I think he's going to have to come in, but I think he's going to be able to eke out a longer stint as well, and he's just going to have fresh rubber for the end of the race to just push as hard as he wants and not have to worry about it. It's really just coming to him. Oh, this is going to change everything.
Oh, and Barney's throwing the yellow flag. Things are now mixed up, and it's Matt Harmon and Justin Adams. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of what happened here. This is going to be Matt Harmon on the high side in that 28. Justin Adams in the 93. He's been loose, and just nothing you could do there.
No, he tags the wall, and it just throws him right into the 28 there, the Haviline car. Matt Harmon, just innocent bystander, just not really anything he could do. Look at that car bounce off of that wall and just run up on the hood.
Man, ouch. Yeah, that is that is not a good one. As we go back live here real quick and look at this. Look at everyone in the pit. Roethlisberger, Brad Crest, Matt Perusini. Where is Kyle Gretsch find himself? Kyle Gretsch is he not pitting? Or is he just down the back stretch?
He's staying out, I think. I think he's staying out. He's going to go as long as he can on this stint. Maybe hope for another caution. I mean,
there's no way.
This is definitely a second gamble here. This is definitely a second gamble, and it's going to be interesting. But I mean, that's going to put all the other leaders down a lap. No, are they going to be able to get out? They're going to be able to get out. So, yeah, this is kind of a head scratcher.
I'll tell you what. Let's while we're under caution here, let's grab Roethlisberger if he is around and about, and see if we can't talk to old Zach there. I don't see Zach, so let's talk to who's going to be our next driver to talk to. Nope, there's Kyle Gretsch coming in. Okay, good. I got very concerned. As soon as Kyle Gresh is stopped in his pit box, we'll grab him here. Let's let him get stopped. I don't want to mess with the man while he's trying to stop at a pit box. That is a quick way to get yourself fired, and I don't really want to do that.
It's a stressful situation. You don't want to add to it by trying to talk to somebody while they're trying to hit their marks. That's for sure. Doing any sort of adjustments on the steering wheel, changing all of his settings there, and just let's see.
And when does he stop in the box? How does he stop? And he stops beautifully. Now let's grab Kyle. All right. Kyle, good stop there. It's Brad. How's the car feeling there with your long stints?
It's feeling all right. We're just kind of pedaling around. There's some confusion on some weird stuff with the yellow right now, but yeah, no, I was just trying to do something opposite because we only have 2 sets of tires for the race, not the 3 that we're supposed to have. So I have a set in the pits, and I don't think most of the rest of the field does.
Are you hoping for another?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to know, did you not take tires just now?
Nope, I did not take tires. I just took fuel because I needed fuel to make it to the end of the race.
So you're gonna run these tires to the end? Is that the strategy?
Yeah, to the end if we cannot get a yellow.
And if we get a caution, you'll have fresh rubber. That's smart. How was the tire deg after your first stint, 56 laps?
I had a 46 on my right front. Yeah, my right rear was pretty good, but I was letting off pretty early.
Awesome. And where do you see yourself finishing at the end of this race?
Either first or last car on the lead lap.
All right. Well, we'll drop you back down because it looks like you're about to go green.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's a strategy. And sometimes you just got to improvise strategy on the go.
Hey, the logic is sound. He said he wanted to do the opposite of what the field was doing, so it makes sense. He's putting him in a position now that if we get another caution, he's going to have fresh rubber and nobody else is. So it's a gamble, but it's a logical gamble. I don't think it's wrong. We're just going to have to see if it works in his favor or not.
I might take Kyle Gresh to Vegas after this. If his gamble pays off, he is going to be my lucky charm in Vegas. But we're coming through Roethlisberger, Kress, Perusini, Gresh. I feel like we've said that a couple times today. Maybe not exactly in that order. And Kyle Gresh, very slow off the line there. The car snaps, but it is Roethlisberger who is just going to take off our race sponsor, Perusini, in P2 here as he gets going and underway. In P3 there it is, Brad Kress. Kyle Gresh in 4th, Sitka Sheshian there in 5th place, taking off. Only 5 cars on the lead lap. You see JC John Campbell there, and you got some lap traffic coming up in the way for the cars already. Perusini, Kress there, and then they are going through. You've got a big jumble here around Jason Benson, around Brian Cooper, and you see everybody kind of running through. That is going to be the 84 of Ward Fisher, who's trying to stay low and out of the way of JC John Campbell, and does a good job as well letting Sid Kasheshian through, who is in 5th place, up 8 places on the day, and now it is just everyone trying to play that game of survival. We're lap 90 of 125.
Sid Kasheshian quietly having a very, very, very strong run here. Like you said, up 8 places on the lead lap still. He's been quiet. He's been kind of floating around in the midfield, but up towards the front at the same time. So it's been very interesting to watch everything that he's gone through, kind of fighting through some of this traffic, but definitely head down and solid run so far for Sid Kasheshian.
And you see he's trying to get around JC John Campbell there, who is a lap down. I don't think he's going to make it too difficult. I do want to draw your attention to lap times real quick. Fastest lap of the session, 29.21. Last lap of the session, 29.21. And that is your race leader, Zach Roethlisberger, running those 29.21s, absolutely stomping the field here early on. He's already pulled out 2.2 seconds since the green flag came back out. So he is trying to just run away and make sure that he doesn't have to think about it when he's got to slow down to save the tires to the end.
Yeah, Roethlisberger on fresh rubber, just trying to get out there as we see the Iowa cars there in the back. One of those 2 cars hitting the wall a little bit. There was a moment there just a moment ago that it looked like we could have an incident, but everything kind of came out clear. I saw one of the, I think it was the second Iowa car there. I'm not sure which car number that is, but yeah, there we go. It is the 96. Yeah, so the cat. Oh, there he is!
Brian Cooper almost saved it.
He still got it! He still got it! Oh!
I was getting ready to say he has made the save of the day.
Man, that is unfortunate because it looked like he was going to be able to save that. And he hit the wall a couple times and was really losing the rear end there. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he just didn't get those tires fired up, but looks like it's going to be a rough day there for that Caterpillar-looking paint scheme there.
Yeah, that's a rough one, but I mean, at least he held it and it didn't cause a caution, so it kind of saves face in that regard. But I do believe that is going to be Mr. Brian Cooper's day done and dusted. I don't think he had another faster pair through as it goes. We're watching Ward Fisher here, who is battling with Cameron Kane. This is a battle for position here. They're both 3 laps down. Cameron Kane, the car behind, and now Cameron Kane has Mr. Matt Harmon in that Havoline car, and these are all Chevys, even though there's a Ford sticker on the front as we go through, and he is now going to be trying to battle his way past Cameron Kane for P10 of the day, lap 95 of 125.
Yeah, we've actually got 2 Dodges in the field, if my memory serves me correct. Kashishian and also, was it Crest that's running the... Yeah, Crest is running the 9 Dodge, the STP, I believe it is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's running the Dodge there too. So,
you know what?
A couple Dodges in the Chevy field.
I respect the dedication of the livery, though. That's the thing is, if you're going to run the throwback livery, you got to really commit to it, even if it means you're running the off-brand manufacturers. So I'll give that one to him. I very much will give that one to him.
Yeah, I think it looks like a great scheme, though. I love that blue. I think that the throwback there just looks very clean, very neat. I think it's a great looking car. I'm not necessarily a Dodge fan, but I think the paint scheme there just looks absolutely beautiful.
They all look really good, but of course, remember, we do have to pick the best paint scheme of the day. So,
is that up to us?
Well, it's supposed to be up to James, but James isn't here, so I'm going to presume they make it up to us. So, I have to ask, who's your favorite paint scheme on the day so far?
Well, hold on. Before I give that up, before you give yours up, let's go ahead and ask the chat. And Jeff Slaughter, I know that you you designed a couple of these paint schemes, at least one of these paint schemes. But I just want to hear what the chat has to say about that before we give our thoughts on the paint scheme. But I definitely have my choice, childhood favorite. So
that's kind of where I'm at too. I grew up on a certain NASCAR team, and two of their paint schemes were represented in the field of 2 of their biggest drivers. So I have two that I'd pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little jaded myself, but yeah, Perusini for the win. Jeff Slaughter, there you go. Wonder why he picked that one. It's because he made it.
Yeah. You know.
Hey, it looks great though. It looks great. The Nicorette, the DuPont, it looks phenomenal.
It really does.
Let's see. Anybody else have Mike, Amanda? Let's hear what you guys have to say. Who do you think is the best looking car out here today?
Is it Kyle Grush?
Big sexy Waltrip.
Is it Oliver Tehran? It's a Cameron Kane.
Does it make you hungry for Krispy Kreme?
Does JC John Campbell? Man, I'm gonna start sending him my my Krispy Kreme receipts.
All right. Well, we got Mike here in the chat that says he's a bit biased, but man, y'all are gonna get me in trouble, and I don't really even know Perusini, but Pirouette here. So we got 2 votes for Perusini in the chat, but one of them's the guy that did the livery itself, and the other one's admitted himself that he was biased. But hey, you and I both admitted our biases are towards our childhood memories. So yeah, let's go ahead and throw it out there. Out of the 2 cars that you were bringing up, which one do you think you're going to go for?
For me, it's going to be Kyle Grush. It's going to be that 27.
Okay, yeah. It is a beautiful scheme. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, let's jump over here and let's check out Kyle Gresh. He's currently running P5. He's down 3 places on the day. But, I mean, his car looks good there, and he's got the 84 of Ward Fisher for company in the background. He's running that off-pit strategy, which I do really appreciate that he's decided to do. We'll have to keep our eyes and see what his decision goes. But I do see up front, it is Perusini and Crest that are trying to battle.
Yeah, this battle has been going on all night long. Perusini currently in front of Crest. We've seen that flipped around multiple times. Going to be interesting to see what happens here between these two. And just to go ahead and give my shout out there. Unfortunately, Tex Nichols is in the pit. His night is done. But I absolutely love that old school Mark Martin Busch Series throwback, the Winn-Dixie car. Oh man, just absolutely beautiful in my opinion. But hey, I grew up loving the man. Mark Martin was my favorite driver, so gotta say I'm a bit biased myself. But yeah, I think it's been a wonderful race, and I just can't wait to see these two battle it out here. Come around here. We got 22 laps to go still. Roethlisberger 3.4 seconds. Yep, 3.4 seconds up ahead of Perusini and Crest. These two battling it out. We got Kashishian there in the back. We got Gresh, who is hoping for another possible caution, because if that rolls his way, he's going to have fresh rubber, where pretty much everybody else is going to be out of luck. But this has definitely been a very, very, very interesting race, strategy, and degradation all coming together here with 21 laps to go. We see here, we're going to stick with this battle because it is the best battle that we got going on so far with these lead cars, at least. We do have a few battles going on throughout the field, but obviously these top 5 cars are the only ones battling on the lead lap. And we come around here with 20 to go. Roethlisberger still out front, but Perusini is starting to cut into that lead a little bit. He's dropped that gap down to 2.87 seconds. Last lap, Zach Roethlisberger had a 30.784. Matt Perusini had a 30.582. So it wasn't like Roethlisberger lost any time, but Perusini just that little bit better. And it looks like this current lap here, Crest had the better of the two. Only a tenth of a difference between your top 3 drivers as far as lap time is concerned. These 3 guys are just battling it out. And even Sid Kashishian, last lap there with a 30.866. So he is flying just as fast as these top 3 cars. So your top 4 cars all lapping within a tenth of each other. We'll see where Kashishian is on this one, because they're evening out. But Perusini is just eking a tenth out here and there. Got that gap down to 2.5. Now, is that to do with some lap traffic? Because Roethlisberger isn't losing any time, but Perusini's still gaining on him, so that's got to be something going on there. We'll have to see if we can, but yep, throw it out to the chat here. Mike had the Viagra car ready for tonight, but I'll have to race it next time. Mike, you would have had my vote, man. I had the Viagra NASCAR jacket at one time. That was an awkward day at middle school when I wore that to the school, but I still had it. I still rocked it. I still loved it. I don't know where it is, but I would still rock it today if I knew where it was. Like I said, Mark Martin, growing up, was my favorite driver. And yeah, that and the Valvoline 6, that was always my favorite. But here in the throwback, we see a car coming. Oh, Perusini getting tagged by lap traffic there. He's able to hold on, and that has got to be, such a stressful moment. It's bringing Crest back into play here, but that was such a stressful moment there for Perusini. Able to save it, but wow. That was almost absolutely killer for his race.
I'm not even sure who that was, to be honest, trying to look. That was the
I think it was the 93. Car. I think that was Adams. I believe it was Adams. Adams was trying to stay high, let the lead cars go, ended up into the wall and got kicked back out. And it was almost a race over for Perusini as well as Adams. And well, the only person that wanted to see that happen would be Gresh, Kyle Gresh. Still waiting for that caution with 15 laps to go.
Yeah, and you can see Perusini's even getting really loose through as they go. They're going around the mellow yellow car at the moment. That's the number 42 of Jason Benson. They're getting past him without too many issues. And as we go 14 to go here, it is Perusini and Cress that are just going to keep things nice and pretty and organized. You know, try to run through at this moment. They're running very similar lap times, but Brad Cress is just going to keep laying pressure on. I mean, it's 15 8s in the first sector and 16 O's in the second sector. So, I mean, they're right there with each other. Just, it's very tit for tat, back and forth. There's nothing really wild that's catching me off guard as it stands with these two. And I have a feeling, you know, that they're going to keep going. Let's run on board real quick as we watch and just kind of see how the guys are holding on to it. You can see there's a big kerfuffle of traffic up ahead with our leader. So we're actually going to jump to that. Let's see here. Zach Roethlisberger trying to work his way through. That's the 037 of Cameron Kane that he's going to be working his way around. And then behind that was the 15th place car of Adams, who is 27 laps down. By golly, he's still running. I got to give him credit. He is still running.
This has become a test session for him, but I mean, you need these test sessions. You need these live laps. It just helps you grow as a driver. It just helps you learn for future races, future references. You know, what could I have done differently in my setup? How can I, you know, be better when it comes to tire degradation? It's all just little things that you can pick up and learn. So I agree. It's very nice to see Adams just sticking it out 27 laps down, but this has become a test session for him, and you just gotta take what you can get and just try to learn as much as you can.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, he's still going to get points. He's out there. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get
this
points.
isn't... He's not throwing this race away by any means. It's just... Unfortunately, it's more of a learning race at this point for him. Just to kind of figure out what the car is doing and how that Gen 4 is just, you know, set up.
Yeah, and, you know, if this is a car that he's not as comfortable with, maybe it's a good thing for him to just be out there and running, because it'll just help as it goes. But I'm really curious. Perusini keeps getting loose off the corner exit, and I'm curious to see how that goes out and if he can keep catching it. I don't know. I'm just he keeps
He
sliding.
definitely had to have caught some damage from that incident. They definitely made contact, so he had to have caught a little bit of damage. He's able to stay in front of Cress, but you're right. The rear end of that car is stepping out, and if he lets off the gas, if he is just a little bit lighter on the throttle coming out of the exit, that's just going to bring Cress right back up on his bumper.
Yeah, and that's all Cress needs is just that one moment. We're 9 laps to go now, and you can see that our leader is coming up to the back of some pretty dense lap traffic that he's coming up to, including our 5th place Kyle Gresh, who is still holding out for that late caution as it goes, and we'll see if he ever gets it here. As you see Kyle Gresh there, the number 84 through the 28, and then our leader Roethlisberger, who has led a good chunk of the amount of time that we've been out and running.
Yeah, he's basically been out there in front the entire time, almost, aside from when Kyle Gresh was pushing that stint out to 56 laps. For the rest of the time, it's basically been the Zach Roethlisberger show. So we see Roethlisberger definitely coming up here. He's gonna be on the back end of Gresh here anytime now. So this is definitely got to be gut wrenching there for Gresh. He was trying to at least stay on the lead lap. He's got 7 laps to stick it out, but I'm not sure that's gonna happen.
If he can fight hard enough, he might be able to hold on. I do genuinely think if he fights hard enough, he can hold on. 6 to go. It's a tall ask, but it's not impossible. And again, we also still have this Perusini and Brad Cress battle that's going on not that far behind of this one. So that's the battle for the last of the lead laps, and then this is the battle for who gets 2nd place overall. You got Perusini and Cress right there in the mix, and Cress again looking much better on corner exit. Is this his moment? Perusini's going to defend to the inside. They slide back up, and here we go to the entry of 3. It is still Perusini and Cress right there together.
Cress has been waiting very patiently. It looks like he's just got so much more grip. He's not going to force the issue. As we see Perusini really getting loose there, he is just not able to hold on to the rear end of that car, and this has got to be stressful for Cress every time he comes out of that exit. because that rear end of the 24 just keeps getting looser and looser.
Yeah, and he's got to hold it for 5 more laps. That's all he's got. And while we're watching this battle, unfortunately for Gresh, Roethlisberger did work his way around. So that is that for that battle. But this battle, far from over, especially if Perusini can't catch it. Are these two going to wreck each other? Becomes the next question. What happens if these two come together?
Well, that obviously puts Kasheshian back up into second place, but I think that's probably the biggest concern for Cress right now. Obviously, Perusini doesn't want to wreck either, but if you're Cress, you clearly have the pace to get around him, but do you really want to risk it with that rear end just sliding out like that? He's going to try to stay high. Perusini is able to block a little bit, just enough, but you've got to be just as stressed if you're Cress as you are as Perusini.
Yeah, it's rough for both of these guys too. Crest keeps trying to sneak around the high line, but he's not able to hold it.
He might have it.
Through. Maybe he has it. Then boom!
Oh!
Crest is in the wall. Perusini slides up as well, and now they're both going to be up and going. Look at the 28 sliding around up down in the bottom side of your screen. But now as we go through, I think that seals it. 2 to go. I think Perusini has it done and dusted at the moment.
Yeah, definitely blocked him into the wall. I'm not sure that was dirty, but that was definitely a tough fight, tough defense there for Perusini. It definitely been a great battle between these two all night long. So no matter who takes second and who takes third, these guys have just been absolutely fighting tooth and nail all night long.
You know, white flag, this battle might not be done. Crest might have one shot, one opportunity to get past him, and we'll see how that happens. Zach Roethlisberger is going down the back straight now as these two are battling down the back straight, and this is your one moment, Crest. You gotta send it if you're gonna send it now. He's right on the back. What's he gonna do? What can he do as we come through? Our leader is gonna exit off of 4, and it is Zach Roethlisberger who wins the Darlington Throwback 125.
Oh, they're side by side. They're side by side.
Crest wins, and it is gonna be Perusini across the line. Brad Crest finishes at 3rd. He almost had the move there. We'll go back and watch the replay in just a moment. But it is that Sid Kasheshian in 4th place. Kyle Gresh, I believe, crossed the line in P5, but I don't actually see him. And then from there, it is going to be JC John Campbell in P6 coming around the line now.
Yeah, Gresh was right behind the leader there, so he definitely came through in 5th. But that was just an intense battle between the 9 and the 24. I hope we can get a replay of that.
Let me see if I can get a replay really, really quick.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now. That was insane.
So we get the replay here.
This is the race restart.
Yep. Let's see if we can get it here.
Go.
So this is going to be coming to the white flag is where these two are. And let's watch them just battle all the way down. So that's white flag as they cross it. Final lap through. This is 1 and 2. And you see right here that Crest is trying to get the run on Matt Perusini. And he's trying to get the run through.
Crest just seems to have so much more grip when it comes to the corners and that corner exit, really.
Watch this as they go through. This is through 3, and you can see that Perusini starts to get loose through 4. Crest tries to slide it low, and then Crest doesn't catch it, but Perusini hits the wall there as well. I don't think he had a lot of help in that moment. Hard to tell from that angle. But it does bring us back, because as it sits, Zach Roethlisberger is your winner, and you can see he's doing the reverse pace lap here.
We got to check our wall counter, too.
And our wall counter, at the end of the day, 42,069 wall taps. Nice.
Let's go ahead and jump out to the chat real quick before we bring our race leader in here. LOL iRacing League, have you ever? And then Jeff Slaughter, Perusini and Crest like Bush and Craven. That was one heck of a battle there at the end.
And
Man,
that was a glorious little battle. I'm going to give it to him there. That was a glorious little battle. That was wow.
That's definitely one of the best battles I've seen in a long time. That was phenomenal. Excellent race.
How long does our winner keep this up? Keep this pace lap? Is he just slow rolling the whole track at this point? Is this the plan?
Yeah, I think he's coming through final corners now.
I mean, I was gonna say, would he do a burnout, but I don't think he even has the tires for a burnout at this point.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has. Let's see if Kyle Gresh has any tires left.
Yeah, let's see if we can grab. We'll go ahead and start our interviews here as our race winner is still pacing around. Let's start out with our P3 driver, if we can find him. I don't see Brad Kress in the chat, so let's go ahead and grab. We'll start out with Matt Perusini, as he finished out in P2. So Matt, it was second place for you, man. How does it feel to finish P2 in a race that hard that came down honestly to the line?
I am worn out, boys. Literally, I am worn out. Brad and I had one heck of a battle. I hope it made for some good TV for you.
Oh, it made for some very, very good television. Don't you worry about that. It was some hard racing to watch through, but I got to ask you the question, what were your tires at the end?
Oh, let me just check here. I was 50% on the right front and 79 on the right rear.
Ooh, man. So it was rough, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I mean, Darlington is always known to be a major tire eating racetrack, and I'll tell you, with this car and track combination, not having that third set of tires. I mean, I don't think it would have played out that way anyway because we didn't get another yellow, but I did know that the 27 car did still have a set of tires sitting in the pits, so if we would have got a late caution, I think he would have been golden.
Yeah, and we interviewed him during that second caution. He did say that was his game plan going through, but Matt, I gotta ask you, you're obviously today's race sponsor, so Triple Bypass is a league. I know it means a lot to me as a commentator. It's one that I genuinely enjoy. For sponsoring a race, tell me about what that means for you as a driver for this league, and any of the big perks that come with it, anything that you get beyond just getting your name and getting some special conversations with us up in the booth.
The biggest thing is that we don't. I mean, I sponsor the races because it's nice to have our races broadcast, because we take pride, especially the core admin group that started TBP, including myself. We take real pride in the fact that I think we put on some of the best racing, I think, in iRacing for a league, and we want to be able to showcase it to other people, to say like, hey, we have the best racing on iRacing in a league. Come on out. We're not looking for the super skilled road to pro guys. We're looking for guys that are trying to learn, trying to get better. Guys like myself that, don't exactly have a lot of time anymore to practice. Not like when I was 20 years old. I'm a lot older than that now. So, just to come out, have fun, and really enjoy it. And, special thanks to you guys again for broadcasting tonight. And, like I said, I really hope we put on a good race for you. And, I'll tell you, to only have, I think it was 2 cautions for that racetrack. That's really impressive.
Yeah, it looked like a very hard race. It doesn't look like we're going to get Zach Roethlisberger or Brad Kress in the booth, so I'm going to keep you for another moment to kind of just talk to you. Talk me through that last lap. Matt.
Well, I mean, you're using your mirrors. You're trying to keep, your car in the best position you can, and what ended up happening is that I had some contact with the 78 about maybe 12 laps before the end of the finish, go in turn 1 and 2. He caught the wall and come down into me, and it bent the right front fender for sure. And that got my car tight, like, instantly. And as soon as that happened, it was just a matter of, can I hold Brad off? And, I mean, the tires were sliding, you're feathering the gas because it's trying to spin the tires. And when you're turning in, it doesn't want to turn, and it's sliding up the track. And I mean, Darlington is definitely by far my favorite racetrack, and that's just the reason why, because it's a really tough racetrack. You're just going to slide around. It's just a lot of fun. So that last lap, I thought Brad might get me in 3 and 4 because that's where I was the weakest. But he was sliding around too and spinning tires, and luckily we came home with that second place finish.
Yeah, it was a wild finish. We just watched the replay of it on the broadcast, and I can't wait for you to see the replay on your side as well. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go? Obviously, you've thanked a few people through, but any last-second thoughts here before we let you go for the night?
Well, I do have a question, because as the race sponsor, I had actually asked James, you guys are supposed to be picking best in show throwback car for this race. For the winner is going to be receiving a $15 iRacing credit on my behalf. So my car is in the running. If you guys end up picking my car as the winner, that money's actually going to my painter, Jeff Slaughter at Slaughter Race Designs. I told him, I said, if I win, it's your money. So I hope you guys can pick us a winner, and we'll get that credit off to whoever has best in show there. But other than that, just want to thank TBP, all the drivers, the admins. We're a good group of friends, and just thanks again to you guys for broadcasting the race.
Awesome. And Michael, are we set? Did we pick a winner? Are we set on a winner?
Okay, I do want to throw this out there. All right, I asked the chat in YouTube who they thought, and the big winner for the YouTube chat was your car. Now, that being said, the two people that voted for you were Jeff Slaughter and Mike, and Mike said he was biased. I'm new to the league, so I'm not sure who Mike is, but he's one of the guys that runs with you guys. He said he was biased, so I don't think that should count. My vote went to the Winn-Dixie. I believe you chose the Jimmy Johnson. I think I'm going to have to agree with you. The 27 car wins.
All right. Well, we'll make sure Kyle gets the best in show $15 credit. Thanks for picking that, guys.
Yeah, and thank you for putting that
up. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, hey, he did an amazing job on that car. That was a tribute back to the 2007 green Nicorette car that Jeff Gordon ran back in 2007, and I wish we would have had some nighttime lighting, because I think that car would look spectacular at the night.
Oh, it would. It would. You'll have to bring that one back out if we get a night race here in the Gen 4s.
I could definitely make sure that happens, especially if it's broadcasted. I'll bring it back out for you guys.
Let's just run it back right now and just turn the lights on.
I don't know that I have time for that, so we'll save it for a night race. But Matt, thank you very much for sponsoring tonight. Thank you very much for the interview, and congratulations, sir, on a P2.
Thanks very much, guys. Again, appreciate you guys doing the broadcast, and we'll see you guys again.
Yes, sir. You know what, Michael? Where are my manners? Before we sign this off, let's run down our finishing results really quick, because that is something I did not do before we started interviews. So,
well, we just had such a crazy ending there. Like there wasn't really much you could do there.
Yeah, that was a wild one, but also we had to give them a minute to kind of review some tape. There were a couple side-by-sides, but official results are in, and it is Zach Roethlisberger in P1 with Matt Perusini and Brad Kress, P2 and P3, Sid Kasheshian in 4th, Kyle Gresham P5, JC John Campbell in P6, and Mr. JC, I will send you my Krispy Kreme bill tomorrow. P7, Jason Benson, Oliver Tehran in P8, Cameron Kane in 9th, Ward Fisher in 10th, Matt Harmon in P11, Ben Harcum in P12, Patrick Swisshelm, Justin Adams, Brian Cooper, and Tex Nichols in P16. Now, with all that being said, any final thoughts, Michael, before we sound off this broadcast for the night?
Man, that battle for P2, that was just absolutely epic all the way down to the final line. I thought this was such a great race all the way through. And I really appreciate you guys letting me jump in tonight, because this was an amazing race at Darlington.
Yeah, this race was absolutely awesome. Triple Bypass, always bringing in great racing. Again, a big shout out to Mr. Matt Perusini for sponsoring the race today. If you want to get part of Triple Bypass, they have 5 nights of racing every single week, 14 rounds in a season. So be sure to check out triplebypass.com. And of course, if this is your first time on the JP Broadcasting Network, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do all the fun things that help us continue to bring you some great action. And we do that for completely free around here on your behalf, unlike other streaming services. And of course, lots of action coming up across the next week here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Be sure to check that out. But on behalf of Michael David and the Mr. James Parfit, the European NASCAR fan who isn't here for the night because he got tied up with something else, hopefully he doesn't mind that we picked the winning scheme on his behalf, but we did. So on behalf of Michael, my name is Bradley, and we've taken you from start to finish at Darlington today. Be sure to tune in for the next one where we'll take you start to finish yet again. Good night.